Welcome to Celeb Scene Central. Jimmy Kimmel has seen this film before, and he's not exactly happy about a sequel. The late-night host, who has publicly feuded with Donald Trump for years, found himself choking up during his Jimmy Kimmel Live monologue on Wednesday as he tried to make sense of the twice-impeached, convicted former president winning a second term in office over current Vice President Kamala Harris. Donald Trump, he's like the Emperor from Star Wars. He's old, he's evil, and he keeps coming back with no reasonable explanation whatsoever, Kimmel said. Just when they finally scrubbed the last of the ketchup off those White House walls. The 56-year-old comedian then became overwhelmed with emotion as he spoke candidly about the reality of Trump's victory. It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hard-working immigrants who make this country go, Kimmel said as his voice began to wobble. For healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency, and it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him and, guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him too. You just don't realize it yet. He added that some people were happy with the election results. But it was a really good night for Vladimir Putin, and for polio, and for lovable billionaires like Elon Musk, and the brothers up in Silicon Valley, and all the rigging brainworms who sold what was left of their souls to bow down to Donald Trump, he said. But you know what? Kimmel continued. I'm going to say something Trump would never say unless it favored him. The people voted, and this is the choice we made. In January, Donald Trump becomes president, and that's that. He won. It doesn't mean we give up, but it also doesn't mean we storm the Capitol because we don't like the result. Kimmel also attempted to find a silver lining, noting that Trump could very well shock everyone by reaching across the aisle to tackle important issues America faces today. He won't probably, but he could, he said. Or maybe the only good part of all this is he can't run again in 2028. I don't know. Maybe next time the Republicans will nominate an orangutan for president. Why not? At least make it fun. And in case he was watching, Kimmel also had a message for Trump. My only request to President-elect Trump is that he lets me share a prison cell with Taylor Swift, he said. I'm really good at making bracelets, and I think we get along just fine. We'll see how funny that is in 6 months when the great talk show host roundup begins. He then asked the audience to raise their hands if they were no longer on speaking terms with a member of their family as a result of the election. Fewer than I thought, but still too many, he said before bringing his cousin out to serve as everyone's new family member. Listen, I'm disappointed, Kimmel said. I know a lot of you are too. I thought common sense would prevail. I'm so stupid. I always think it's gonna, but for a lot of people this just isn't important, it's not high on their list. There's evidence that many voters didn't even realize Joe Biden wasn't on the ballot anymore.